There are some big things happening in sports and swimming, and some of it isn't good. It's rather heavy. In Toronto, they're talking about closing more than 30 swimming pools. There's an enhanced games being launched, which is gets our mind blown with regards to supplement and using juiced athletes. But Barry and I are working on it, and we're talking about it, and we're trying to get a big picture view of things. So stay tuned to Heavy or Not, episode 34.
A lot of stuff happening in the UK in some areas. One, I think I sent you that child protection stuff, that group that looks after all the background of things like social services and youth clubs and all those people that work with hard to reach kids. What I find about that group is that the information is better than what we get over here. Probably the only group that's in Canada anyway. Let's look at it that way. The only group in Canada that I think is close is Sport for Life. That they're going that way, looking at the bigger picture. And it reminded me the other day in that when I was in the UK, they said, and we started bringing those kids in that we had to get back into school by sport. What came up multiple times, and it was, I came up with the idea is that sport is never at the table. That took a lot of people by surprise, but really we're not at the table, both in the States and here, and probably in Europe too. And people ask, what do you mean by not being at the table? It's sort of like if you've got people like you and I pushing and selling, and I met with probably a potential sponsor the other day. The conversation went like this, like about us building a new pool. And he's a developer. He developed everything that I live in and all along the lake. And he said, Barry, what you have to realize in this small community is that there's me and you wanting those things. I need them because I like swimming and I'm more active than my peers, right? Like he's in his 70s. And they're costing the hospital a fortune by every time they go. And they don't run, they shuffle. They don't walk, they shuffle. And he says, and the only difference between me and them, it's not finances or anything else. It's just what I do and what I did as a kid and what I've carried on doing. He said, but then the other side of that is that those people only think of one thing also is they don't want any tax increases. But you can't have it both ways. So what we have to do is how do we sell that? This is what we're saving if we do this, this, and this. And that, and I see this, the UK is pushing more at that than anywhere else, right? And I know guys that I've met with, like John Leonard was that way before, is that we need to get the insurance companies on. And I know it does happen in some of the bigger companies in the States. If you work out your insurance costs less. What I meant by we're not at the table, sport doesn't think it has a place at those tables in health, education, and everything else. It's just a few of us between every now and then and go, no, it's not just about the kid winning a medal or becoming the fastest runner or the highest jumper in the world. It's not about, I think that the great coaches and the coaches that have been in it long term understand that. They, even the guys that work with the very few at the top, they know out of that group of thoroughbreds that they coach who are all world class, they know there's only going to be one or two of those athletes capable of winning a medal at the top. So the whole conversation with them is, what are you going to do with your life after sport finishes? You need to stay healthy to get through your exams and everything else. You need to stay focused and not be distracted from all the other things that are out there. But sport is never at the table selling that. Nobody, right? The guy goes, all I need to do is sell and get a sponsor to pay for these top kids, right? Without saying, hey, I need to be at the education meetings. Like what's going on in Ontario, it is amazing. There is huge battles now trying to save 33 or 40 pools that are in the schools. And finally, somebody and the articles in the paper are changing day by day. Finally, in those articles, it's gone from, well, we don't need a swimming pool, to, do you guys realize what a swimming pool does? It's in its final few weeks of let's axe 54 million out of those 60 pools. And they go, the pool was never built to make money. The pool was made to service the community, get babies to learn how to swim so that all the lakes and rivers around where they live, there's less chance of drowning. But who is the messenger? That's the issue. Who has that responsibility? If you look at your system and our system, we're pretty close. Like, we have provincial systems, you have LSCs. Could you come up with an LSC where somebody off that board sits and meets with education and health and everything else? Ever?
No, it's out of our field of comfort, and it really needs to be championed. And you sent an article, and it made it in the last podcast, about how the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, got cut by President Trump. And so the people that were looking after all the data with regards to the drowning epidemic is now they're out of work. Yeah, it's going to need to be something that we carry in the discussions. And even if in my after school discussions, we've run into this too. Well, sports isn't part of our worry. It's after school things, but it's about literacy or STEM or getting their homework done. And the coaches are just in the way, because then it takes the kids out of their other after school things.
And that's the sell point, Mark. That's what I did when I first started. When they gave me this blank sheet of paper and some money in the UK, and said, we want you to get kids back in. What can you do? And I go, well, tell me what the problems are. So they told me all the problems. Most of us know it. It's social background, it's lack of access, it's poverty, it's everything else. And those things are not going to go away. They'll always be there. And you have to get to the point of going, what can sport do on every one of them? And it took me nearly a year, and it took me a year of learning also about what social services wanted, what the police wanted, what the hospitals wanted, even down to the fine little thing, right? It has to be on this day. And I never thought about that, right? It has to be on this day. The police especially. Barry, it has to be Fridays. It has to be Fridays, because Fridays is the biggest day we have a problem. Fridays is the biggest day where you can save us money. Fridays is the biggest day that we can send people to help you, and we can isolate those guys that they're not involved in crime. We were with them. Down to that. That's how they think about it. But the sports coach, and I agree with you, the sports coach in the schools are gone, it's not our problem. Our problem is this: Fridays, we don't want to be here. Right? That was right. We're not going to stay past 4 o'clock, Barry. We're gone. And then you have to take all that information from that group, look at what they want, and then go, okay, what can we change? And sometimes we had to rent or hire extra caretakers. You need to spend another 2 hours on Friday night. I know you want to go off, right? But we'll pay, because the police want us to pay. And then you actually have to start off very, very small, because you can't do it in multiple places. You have to do it in one place and go, let's try it at that gym with that school and this, and see how it goes. And then we have to try and find coaches. But there are coaches, especially those that don't have full-time jobs in sport. This can get you up the ladder if you could teach basketball on Friday night. Doesn't have to be swimming. Swimming's an easy one, because the easy part about swimming is we can bring your costs down a little bit by renting your pool. But those are the arguments. But I know a lot of my peers wouldn't do it. I'm going, you can sell sport better than everybody. You can sell from an experience. I've had some great athletes, but that's not why I do it. I do it because I change lives. I do it because I'm helping the kid grow up. I do it like, I love your word the other week. You can be in our gang. Our gang does this. I love that, right? And I've been selling that word gang to to volunteers that I've been doing. Hey, I got a friend down in the States who is using the word gang. This is our gang. It's different. Yes, it's got t-shirts. It's not got tattoos, but we have like false tattoos that we can stick on them. Right? I want a tattoo to be in your gang. I'm going, okay, yeah, you got one. It's how we sell it, but how important it is.
We use the Sharpies on the skin for the triathletes, for the special rub on numbers.
Yeah. And then with the little guys, we write the numbers on them to know what lane and heat they're in, right? And which they still look at when they get on the block. Am I in the right one? Right.
Right.
But this is what I'm thinking. And I don't know if you want to post this out there at the moment. This is what I'm thinking. With our friend down, your king down there, cutting all those things off, it's going to leave huge opportunities. Unfortunately, you and I know what's going to happen. Drowning will go up. Lack of interest will go up. Pools will have another excuse to shut. Well, the government doesn't even care about it. Why should I care about it? Right? They'll drop it. But there's an opportunity, and you need to talk to Doug. There's an opportunity there. Where do we fit in now? It's another door. It's another door of opportunity. I'm going, hey, guess what, guys? We're sorry you've been cut. We know you've done all the work on this and that. We're here to try and help you replace some of those things. How can we help? And in some cases, you might want to take it over. Because I tell you what, when your next change comes, whether it's 2 years or 4 years, they'll say, we need to get all that back. And we need to be in a position. No, we've been doing this for the last 2 years. We want to say. We want to say, and we want the grants to carry on what we've done. They're just cutting anything that they can think they can save money on without the outcome.
There is a fellow, I don't know if you know them, Mick Nelson. He used to work at the U.S. Swimming Foundation, and now he has his total aquatic programming thing where they do the build-a-pool. But he keeps track of drowning stats. So whenever I see a thing in the news, and I often send it to him, but he must have hundreds of Google alerts and has a giant spreadsheet. So if it says drowning on it, then it pings him, and then he'll go follow it, and then he'll start to tabulate the age of the victim. Did it happen, and what type of body of water? And then he tries to do it. And every month he generates a report by state, and he tries to look at it. But I'm sure he doesn't have some of that insider knowledge that the government would have as far as like emergency room records and things of that nature. But I want to have an interview with him so that he can explain what he's been doing. And I know that some of his business things are, he was trying to sell them off, or, they're just getting older and they want to, see it sustainable.
All right. Let me just dig in there. Let's try to have a session with him. As I tell you what I'm worried about, right? That there's going to be a vacuum in the market. We're already in the hole of not enough swimming teachers, not enough access, not enough lifeguards. All of a sudden now, a big part of support mechanisms. Let's forget that it's government. It doesn't make any difference to me whether it's government or private or joint venture. It's sort of like it's gone. But my biggest worry also is all the data, and we can see this in other things that they're closing down. It's going missing. Nobody will box it. Here, in all those things that are going on, right? Like, hey, has drowning gone up since COVID? You go, yes, it has. And it can't be me and you. Can't be me and you saying, well, we've got those stats. It's got to be, we have to keep that stuff. The drownings have gone up since their grandparents and grandfathers have started using the phone when they come to the beach and looking at the kids. That's data, because that's stuff that you go, well, it's not fake. Those are issues we have to deal with. We can't say COVID never happened and it didn't have any impact on swimming. You go, yes, it did for 4 years. kids never got swimming lessons. And at the same time, the price of private lessons went from here to here. So it's about all those things. So I think that guy's, hey, well, he might be interesting to talk to, saying, hey, what do you want to do with your business? Because this is a crucial time. I have too many friends that they love what I do on coaching, but to me, it's easy. To me, it's easy, that part of trying to get faster kids and open doors for them and get support for them. But the other side, if we don't have these kids swimming, their sport's really going to hurt. I mean, really hurt. We're going to be sitting in LA. How come we got no 14-year-olds coming through? Well, somebody said there was this like bad cold that went around. No, that was just fake news.
And I'm also interested in some of the alternatives. We'll get to LA and we'll find that all the girls are playing flag football.
Yes.
And
totally right. And soccer.
Our new TV show, Heavy or Not, has a deep dive associated podcast too. Stay in touch so we can include your wisdom in these endeavors. Sign up at swimi.org.
Wait, one last thing. Do you have a school or team mascot? We'd love to see it. Send us a photo of you with your mascot. We're gathering a fun collection for the next edition of Mental Skills for Young Athletes. In the book and course, animal mascots come to life, sharing mental skills and preparing for a big sports festival. They help bring sports psychology to life for kids of all ages. We would love to include you in your mascot photos. Check the show notes for the link, youcanswim.wetransfer.com. That's the letter U for the United States, and then CAN, as in Canada. One of our favorite mascots is the parrot. The parrot mascot helped kick off Pittsburgh's Take a Father to School Day. Thanks in advance for sending us your mascot photos.